Hey, pre-notification gang. Coming along great, Rip. Thanks, the Bits King. Look at the late show TikTok. Why would I do that? Why would I look at the late shows TikTok? Thanks to the resub Biz and Wes. And the Bits K-Berry. Oh, right. The Logan Paul response. I didn't stream yesterday, so I didn't get to go over it. I actually forgot to pull that up. Thanks to Prime Spoder in Glaceon. And the Bits Hoosier. And the resub Nico. Thanks, Hoosier. Thanks to the Prime Game Lads and gives sub Insanity in the Prime Rink. And the resub Isaac. Do you see Plane yet? Yes. It's actually why I didn't stream yesterday. We'll talk about Plane in a bit. Yeah. Andrew, Aaron, and I saw it last night. He's a tier 1 FTP. And the resub Isaac, Saul, and the Bits Dowland and Chaos. I heard it's actually solid. I don't know who you're getting your info from. This movie fucking sucked. It was terrible. It was awful. It was not good at all. The reviews for it were good? No, I refuse to believe that. You're telling me Plane got good reviews? A 73 on Rotten Tomatoes for this poop? What? Surely we watched a different movie. That must be it. There must be the two movies named Plane must have came out at the same time. There's no way. Look at the audience score. No, there's some kind of astroturfing or something going on. There is no. I just refuse to believe this. A 95%. Oh, there's only 250 reviews, but a 95% audience score. Who? In our theater, there were literally people in the front row FaceTiming during the movie because it was so fucking boring. One of them was even just trying to, like, film it for their friend to watch with them. The movie is terrible. And then behind us, there was some guy playing with aluminum foil. There's no way. This has to be, like, some kind of a... Is this like a 4chan meme or something? Like, hey, let's inflate the rating on Plane as a joke? There's no way. There's no way. These resub Trash, Leland, Cabbage, Floyd, and the 5 gift subs Chaos. Thank you, Chaos. Give sub Coldy and the resub Jack Valding and the Bits Raven. Probably for the next one, Raven, but they dropped support on 11 already, thanks to the Bitsberry. Sounds like you had very disrespectful audience members. Well, yeah, but I don't blame them. The movie sucks. The movie is just bad. Like, everything about it is bad. It's just not good. It's not even fun bad. We went in there knowing it wasn't going to be good, but we were hoping it'd be fun bad. And there are fun bad moments, but overall, it's just not good. In, like, a not fun way. I'll get into it in a minute, I guess. Assuming people don't care about spoilers. Thanks for your sub Booster, Poof, Yeet, Hasmania, and Tier 1 Lewis. And Tier 1 Mason. And the resub Creason. There's a Barmel and give sub Deceiver. The best part was when he walked into the building, connected 2 cords, and instantly got in touch with the US. That wasn't even the best part of that scene. The best part of that scene was after he connected 2 of the wires to completely fix a 55-year-old phone that was overgrown with all kinds of, like, local foliage. He got in touch with the US twice, and then he immediately got into, like, a small scuffle, and for no reason at all, ripped the phone off the wall himself and threw it on the ground during the fight to ensure that he couldn't use it again. For no reason. He didn't even use it as a fucking weapon. It was so stupid. This has to be some kind of joke. And I'm just not in on it. Oh, thank you for the 10 gift subs, Tara. Appreciate that. Thanks for the big drop. And the resub Heli, Savic, Staccato, Honey Jams, HGH, Savic, and the Bits Brody. Can you just tell me what that is, Brody? Because I don't know who that is. So that doesn't sound that interesting. Thanks for some Thunder and Expert. Watch Jeremy. If you tell me Jeremy gave this a positive review, I'm actually going to be so upset. This better not be a positive review. I would be so upset.
Seeing the return of the 90s action genre. I really hope so. And before we talk about that, gonna give some love to the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by
I just need to know the verdict.
Anything, but it leans into its cheese and its premise enough to give you some of that flavor of 80s action movie and 90s action movie. Some of that flavor that's been gone for too long. Maybe we want a little bit of it back. It scratches an itch that modern cinema doesn't generally try to do. It's a very niche thing. It's a subgenre among the modern action movie genre. It's one that's very self-aware. If you like 90s...
This is so far from self-aware, it's painful. I love cheesy action movies. You know what this doesn't have? Cheese or action. Or at least not well, I guess I'd rather say. It is bad on every fucking front. I'm assuming you guys don't care about spoilers, right? I'd like to preach for a moment, but there's going to be some spoilers if I do. Thanks to resub Howl, Easta, Horse, Chromosome, Spooky, Wolf, and the gift sub Coldy. And no, my dad builds cars, but I don't. Okay. So, the premise of Plane is as simple as it gets. Gerard Butler is a pilot who has a bit of an interesting history. He used to fly hotshot routes to like Paris and shit, but then after an incident where a passenger got an attitude and Gerard Butler punched him and choked him out, he got demoted into flying less glamorous routes. That's his whole background. He has a daughter, but you only see her 3 times in the movie, and she accomplishes absolutely nothing and is not helpful in even the slightest bit. I don't even know why they even bothered to include her in there. They could have just, like, said he has a daughter instead of show her. She does nothing. She does fucking nothing. So, he's flying his route, and there's a big storm. And he was like, oh, I don't really want to fly through this big storm. But then the evil airline guy said, no, you're going to fly through that big storm. So he's like, okay, I'll fly through the big storm. So now we're like, I've just summed up the first 30 minutes of the movie, basically. Like, it drags even just getting to this point. So then they're in the plane. They're flying through the storm. It gets hit by lightning. All the power goes out. And then, while being jostled around, there's a criminal and the criminal's handler. And the criminal's handler inexplicably unbuckles his seatbelt because he dropped his phone. So he dropped his phone during all of this like crazy shaking and stirring around. He's like, my phone! So he unbuckles himself. He starts like chasing his phone around. And then one of the flight attendants gets up, unbuckles herself. She's like, sir, get down! Get back in your seat! So she unbuckles herself. And then they both hit the top of the plane and instantly die. And then after that, they glide into like a terrorist-occupied island nation. And he's like, man, we lost 2 people. But now we have this criminal here with no handler. Oh, fuck. And I know he killed somebody 15 years ago. Fuck. What are we gonna do? The only thing we can do, I'm gonna go look for help. So we're like 40 minutes into the movie, by the way. Like, by the time they get to the island, you're already like halfway through the film. So there's not even enough time for anything interesting to happen. So Gerard Butler's like, me and the criminal are gonna go to the island. Meanwhile, all of the passengers on the plane, they gave a little bit of backstory to, so you're expecting them to be characters, but they're not. Every single passenger on the plane is nothing but a meat puppet that occasionally gets shot, and nothing else. It's fucking useless. Every passenger has nothing to offer. Absolutely useless. I don't even know why they bothered giving them even 2 seconds worth of backstory. But Gerard Butler and the criminal, they go into the jungle. Gerard Butler's got a gun that he took off of the criminal's handler. Criminal splits up from Gerard Butler, and now he's on his own. He goes into this dilapidated building, and he finds this old fucking phone straight out of, like, the prehistoric era. And he's like, oh, man, perfect. So then he, like, opens the breaker nearby, and he sees 2 wires, and he's like, pfft. He's like, oh, phone's working. I got dial tone. So then he calls the United States. He's like, I'm Captain Torrance. We've landed somewhere on one of the islands in the Jolo cluster, I think it was. We need help. And she's like, stop prank calling us. Pfft. So she hangs up on him. And he's like, damn. So he takes the wires again, and he connects them, and he's like, dial tone. I'm gonna call my daughter. He's like, Daniela. He's like, Dad? Yep, it's me. Just listen. Shut the fuck up and listen. Stop talking and listen. I'm somewhere in the Jolo cluster. And then while he's on the phone with her, he gets jumped by a local terrorist who happened to have seen the plane go down. So then the guy's like beating him, slapping around. He throws Gerard Butler up against the wall, and Gerard Butler's like, ugh. So then he grabs the phone that he just used, rips it off the wall, and throws it down. This is Gerard Butler, by the way, that did this. Throws it on the floor, and then he pushes the terrorist off of him and then kills him. But then he's like, damn, my phone. It's so... I'm summing the whole fucking movie here. Every possible aspect of this film is fucking trash. I cannot believe these scores. Like, I feel like we didn't watch the same movie. I just really feel like we didn't watch the same movie. Oh, thanks for the resub. Vault, Accident, Nick, Chicago, Pato, and the Primes Vander, Swall, Coober, the resub Funds, Fez, Spooky, Crusade, Rick, Beetle, Tyson, Table, and the Prime, Sora, and the Bits Freak. And no, but that Puss in Boots was great. I thought it was good. What part? Nothing happens. Like, 40 minutes in, and you have no tension of this plane going down. It's fucking terrible. Even during this plane crash, Gerard Butler's like, all right, they're crashing. They are literally crashing. And he's like, you take the helm, co-pilot. I forgot his name. I'm going to go check on the passengers. So Gerard Butler, as this fucking thing is coming down, is going back to the passengers. Don't worry. We're experiencing big problems. Going seat to seat for some reason. And then he gets his head hit against the wall. And then he's like, okay, I'm going back to the helm. And then the plane keeps crashing. Like, everything about it is so nonsensically stupid. Like, there's no tension. The action sucks. It's all bad. But it's not fun bad. Also, Gerard Butler's not the cool guy here. Gerard Butler is like if I was in this situation. I'm just a spectator watching the cool guy do all the work. So this guy is the cool guy. He kills the people. Gerard Butler's like, oh my god, death! Oh, no. So he sucks. This guy's kind of cool, though, when he's doing his action hero stuff. But anyway, so after the terrorist and the phone situation, this guy comes back, and he's like, pull yourself together. It was you or him. And he's like, you're right. So then he gives him a gun. And then while they're doing that, the terrorist leader drives on over to the plane. He's like, you passengers are coming with me. But not before shooting and killing a woman who tried to run away and then slicing another guy's neck. They don't show any of this, though, by the way. It's R-rated, but they don't actually show any of the violence, really. So they take the passengers, they put them in a cage. Gerard Butler and the prisoner see it, so then they chase them into town. Then they just free them with no struggle whatsoever. This is a movie where everything goes right for the good guys, by the way. They just free them. They see them in the cage. This guy grabs a sledgehammer, hits the 2 guards, they free him. And then he puts them on a bus, and he's like, can anyone drive this? And a guy sits down, he's like, I can drive anything. That's the only role any of the passengers play. He can drive a small bus. He just says, yeah, I can drive anything. But then the prisoner's like, wait, there's guards up ahead. We're gonna have to do something else. This isn't gonna work. And Gerard Butler's like, I can distract them. Even though there's no reason why they'd be alerted. They don't know the prisoner's been broken out. This is just a normal fucking bus in this giant goddamn town. Like, they wouldn't be suspicious to just drive out. They could have just left. But regardless, Gerard Butler's like, I'll go distract them. So then he goes, he's like, hey guys, hey, I'm the pilot. And he meets the terrorist leader and he's like, oh, you're the pilot. And he's about to kill him. And then all of a sudden, the not bounty hunters, mercenaries swoop in that were hired by the plane company that Gerard Butler was the pilot for, Trailblazer. They send in their own Delta Force and they just start killing all the terrorists. It's 4 mercenaries. And they kill every single terrorist, an entire town's worth of terrorists. Hundreds. Literally hundreds without any of them even getting shot. One of them has a 50 cal and he starts like shooting through cars, which is kind of cool if they actually bothered showing it like in a cool way, but they only show like 2 shots because the budget's probably pretty low. They didn't have the budget to actually show the violence and the actual action. So then the fucking Navy SEALs come in, they're killing all the terrorists. Gerard Butler and them are like, all right, let's get back to the plane. Which is the dumbest idea ever, because they have the bus, they're all on the bus, half the terrorists are dead, and for some reason they decide to go back to the plane, the only place the terrorists know they would go, like they know of. That is the only place the terrorists are even familiar with. They could have just taken that bus and gone anywhere besides the plane and been fine. Literally anywhere besides that fucking plane, and they would have been fine. There would have been no conflict left. They could have gone absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Except the plane. But they go to the plane, like, alright, it's time we make our final stand. And then the rest of the terrorists come with like 5 cars. And then they just start getting all murdered, just blasted, not even close. Then Gerard Butler's like, the only way we're going to survive is if we all get back on that plane and I fly us out of here. So they do. Roll credits. I don't know what they watched. I don't know who watched this and was like, yep, that was good. That's it. That was the whole movie. I just summed it up for you. I don't get it. I don't know how the fuck anyone thought it was, like, good. I expected fun bad, but it wasn't fun bad. It was an absolute slog. Like I said, it takes them like 40 minutes to actually get to that goddamn island where the terrorists are, and in that 40 minutes, nothing interesting is happening. And then when they get to the island, there's some action, but the budget's too low to show you anything cool, so it's kind of just like implied violence. And then eventually they get back on the plane and fly out after like a 20-minute fight where everything goes right. Every plan that Gerard Butler and the Navy SEALs hatch works perfectly. There's no conflict. The conflict was a plane crashing, but the terrorists, they're an afterthought. They're a side quest. I don't get it. How the fuck does this have good reviews? This is baffling to me. No shit, it's an 80s trope. You know what the difference between 80s movies and this is? The 80s movies had cool action, where it was violent. It had cool gunfights. It had cool moments. This didn't. When there was... Example, Sledgehammer. When he gets the sledgehammer, I'm like, oh, this is going to be hype. He's about to kill some people with a sledgehammer. You don't see it. He hits one guy with the sledgehammer, and you see his, like, nose bleed. And then he hits another guy, and then the camera pans up, and you just see him, like, slam down on the ground and see nothing else. There's no actual interesting action. There's no good anything about it. They don't even show it. So it's not like an 80s tropey action movie. It's like an 80s theater project. Read the reviews, but why? It's not going to change anything about it. Full of gripping suspense. What did you watch? It was more I had more suspense looking at the people in the front row FaceTiming. Here's the resub. Chuck, Underdog, Happiest, Flunky, Lava, Snake, Slushy, Mini, Adonis, Batman, the Prime, Sharp, and Trajan. I don't know what that one is, Fate. I didn't see that movie. Thanks to the bits, Dojin. It's just your average Hollywood run and gun. It is not! There is no running and gunning! Jesus Christ! Like I said, if this was like a normal tropey action movie from the 80s, that kind of style, I would have loved it. It is not. It is 40 fucking minutes of a plane slowly crashing with no suspense, no tension, no nothing. And then they land on the goddamn island, and then every single gunfight is like implied bullets being hit, except for a couple scenes with the 50 cal that hits two guys, which it immediately cuts away from after they fly against the car. It doesn't show anything interesting. It's not run and gun. It's not bullets flying, nuts to butts action or anything. It's fucking boring. Movie sucks. I don't get it. I don't get where this love is coming from. Thanks for some Glock, Judah, and the Prime, Daniel. Of course I'm playing the new Dead Space game. And I probably will go through the other ones as well. Thanks for resub, TG. It was a good... What did you like about the movie, Conan? I can't tell if I'm being just, like, memed on or not. I want to hear from you, Conan. What did you like? What did you like about Plane? The movie was good. This is just an L from you. What did you like, Conan? I want you to tell me. I'm just trolling. Okay, that sounds about right. See, that's what I'm thinking. This has to be, like, self-aware, like, joking to inflate these numbers. Like, almost like a Morbius situation for Plane, but on a smaller scale. That's the only explanation. You want to know something else, too? This movie's so fucking stupid. So this guy gets very little backstory. He's like the actual action hero. Gerard Butler's just the chaperone. He's the action hero. His backstory is, yeah, I used to be in the Marines. I think it was the Marines. Then I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, framed for a murder I didn't commit. But he's out here killing all these people. Well, I'm assuming killing all these people. You never really see anyone like actually die because the budget's too low. And then right towards the end, when the Navy SEALs get there, like the Delta team, for some reason they had this giant bag of money they were trying to use to like negotiate hostage release, even though that never came up because they just immediately came in guns blazing, killing terrorists. But they had this giant bag of money. He finds that bag of money, and for some reason takes it and runs away. At no point did they ever hint in his past that he's someone that's like greedy. At no point did they ever give any indication that he'd be the kind of guy to be like, money, I'm out ski, bye-bye pussies. So he takes the money and just flees into the jungle. Out of nowhere. In the middle of their firefight. He was on the run, he needed it. He's literally stranded on an island that is inhabited entirely by terrorists. It is so bad that multiple times in the movie they say, oh, the Philippine government won't even touch it because they keep getting their ass kicked over there. No one's allowed in or out. So what the fuck is he going to do with all that money there? He can't leave. Thanks to the resub Zinny, Ash, and the tier 1 Scraw, and tier 1 Angelic, and the resub Samperino. Do I know the game Rubber Bandits? I don't think so. Thanks to the resub Solarch. Menu was great. I watched the menu tonight. That was good. Were you in the 5% who left a negative review? No, I've never reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes. I'd give this a very low score, though. It was not even fun bad. Terrace Island would have been a cool name. It would have been a cool movie. Here, you want to know how I would have saved it? I would have cut out at least 20 minutes of the plane crashing slowly, and I would have had them arrive at the island 20 minutes earlier, and then actually introduced real, like, conflict. Because, again, once they hit the island, pretty much everything goes according to plan. So give me 20 extra minutes, give me a budget where I can actually show people getting shot and getting killed, and then you have a fun movie. Thanks to the resub Pablo and the prime Throck, Maka, Y, and the resub Newts and Abstract. And the bits Frozen, Toad, and Dogs. True Dogs. Thanks to tier 1 Pickle. And the resub Forerunner. The Raid movies are fucking tight. I don't know where that's coming from, but yeah, the Raid movies are absolutely amazing. Moonfall or Plane? Moonfall. Moonfall is the best bad movie ever made. Plane is just boring. No, Top Gun Maverick's a good action movie. This is hardly even an action movie. This is more like an audiobook of action than an action movie. Because whenever there's gunfights, you don't really see anything. Another great example. The main villain, the main bad guy, Datu, the leader of all the terrorists, he dies in what could have been a really cool way. As Gerard Butler's taking his plane off, Datu's got an RPG out. It's like, okay, finally, something hype. And then it cuts back and forth. Gerard Butler's eyes, terrorist eyes. Gerard Butler, Datu, Gerard Butler, Datu. Plane's starting to take off. The wheel's about to hit him in the head. And then it doesn't. It just hits the car next to him and you're assuming he just got taken out with it. Instead of just showing you something cool like, bam! Datu blows up into blood and guts everywhere. A fucking crazy finale. It's just, here it comes! And we didn't have the budget for that, so here's a car getting hit instead. It's so dumb. It's so underwhelming. It's not a good action movie. Unless you're just using your imagination like SpongeBob and Patrick in the Box. So why is it rated R then? I don't know. Because they say fuck a lot, but I don't know why they wouldn't also use that to actually show violence. Thanks to the resub Brett. And the gift sub Bell and the prime Steven. Oh, that's sure yet, Ghosts. I have no idea what they spent it on, Wes. I could not tell you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pathetic was Wizard of the Coast response? We'll get into that in a bit. Oh no, I shit on Velma plenty today. I'm all Velma'd out. Thanks for resub Trex and the bits to Toya. Do I think the studio neutered it? No, I just don't think they ever had the budget to showcase good action. I don't even think it was a studio. Well, I mean, I guess that would be the studio's responsibility for the budgeting, but No, I don't think there was ever a cut of this movie that had like good action in it. There's a resub Venus. And the resub Lex. And Rain. Did you see / enjoy Hereditary? Yeah, I liked Hereditary. I think that's Ari Aster's best work. There's a resub Wild. And the resub Alter Ego. Pokemon cards? No. I finished my Pokemon card collection. Velma is on track to become one of the lowest rated TV shows on IMDb. Oh, what are the reviews actually? I've only seen the headlines that critics hate it, and who was it? I think it was IGN, like shit on it pretty hard. But I haven't actually seen the scores. 1.4 sound. 53%. Are we being serious here, guys? How? How? I wonder, what does GameSpot think? I think they have the worst reviews on things that aren't games. We went through them, like, what, 4 or 5 days ago? Their show reviews are some of the worst ever. They gave Resident Evil Netflix like a 9. And the Halo TV show an 8. Let's see, what do they give this? This is just like a... Oh, this is the review roundup. I want to know what they give it. Have they not reviewed it yet? No, I guess they haven't gotten around to reviewing it yet. These are some Schmokes, Lalils, Vince, and Tier 1 22 Spidoo, and the resub Clunk, and Prime Cactus. What did you like about the menu? It filled me with too many questions to be good. I didn't think there was anything to like question. It was like a very straightforward movie, I thought. I just love kind of like what anime does with cooking and shit when they like hone in on something super specific and take it very seriously. So the menu all about like the obsession of cooking perfect food and getting really into it always makes me giggle. I'm always a fan of that kind of shit. Like, oh, I'm getting hints of the umeboshi fermentation here. Oh, it's almost a bit playful with the palate. God, to have such a fine dichotomous relationship struck in such a small dish. I just love that shit. And I also think the concept was executed very well. I think the villain was fantastic. So I really liked almost everything about it. Talking about the menu. There's a resub Justin, Swiggity, Digital, and Sizzle, and Riley, and 9. Not sure. That's a good question, Tadoya. I'm not sure. Thanks to the resub, Hob. Hope you're doing well. Thanks to the resub, Kitten. That sounds like Twitch. Yeah, I highly recommend the menu. I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely great. Should I? We'll do Logan Paul thing first because I don't have a whole lot to say about this. He released this 2 days, or wow, this was yesterday. That was 2 days ago, man. He released this apology.
CoffeeZilla is not a criminal. I called him. I apologized. My initial response to
overall, he just eats shit like we all expected him to after those Discord messages where it became very clear he had no other options. So he's like, "Yep, this one's on me. It's a shame how everything went. This is terrible. This is awful." Offering a rewards program for all of the CryptoZoo people who got let down, disappointed, lost money, whatever. And it's about what you expect. He's like, CoffeeZilla is actually a hero. You know, thanks for what you did, CoffeeZilla. So he's singing a completely different tune now, apologizing for being so combative and hostile, this and that. I was wrong about the refund thing, though. I thought for sure he was going to just fold and issue the refunds, but he didn't. Watch it. Why? It's boring. It's just...
His series was that of fire, an ego, flair, whatever it is, pride. I'm a fighter at heart, and I was defensive because I know I never scammed anyone with this project. I never made any money, never sold any tokens, and I only had the best intentions going in. But the fact is, suing CoffeeZilla is not going to help CryptoZoo holders, so I do need to focus my attention where it should be.
Yeah, so just a full-blown apology thing. If this was his first response, it'd be more believable, but it's not. This is his second response. Seems very clear that it was like his last option. Still doesn't do a whole lot to help the actual victims of CryptoZoo. I guess it's a step in the right direction, but it still doesn't do a whole ton for them. But this is just a very easy excuse for people to forgive him. Be like, oh, look, he learned his lesson. He's a young man. He's still learning. He's making mistakes. He just needs time to interpretive dance and grow from it. That kind of shit. I don't have strong feelings on it. It doesn't seem genuine to me considering this is his second response to it. His first one threatened legal action. But a lot of people have forgiven him for it. He's like, oh, look at how mature he is. He's owning up to it. Good man. I would have been great, like happy with everything if he also offered that refund, but he didn't. Not a full refund. He's offering a little something though, I guess. From what I've seen in the Discord though, the actual CryptoZoo holders that have lost tons and tons of money, the ones that have like already sold and lost everything, they're not super pleased with it. They're not feeling great about it. But the people that weren't affected are feeling really good on their behalf. So that should make them feel better. All that money you lost, I know you're probably still upset, but I've forgiven Logan Paul. Why are you mad? Thanks to the Tier 1 GameStein and the resub Bean, South Park, Same, T, Zoid, Kitten, and the 6K Bits London. Thank you for that. Thank you, London. Thanks to resub Zuppy and Demon. What about all the animal stuff? He doesn't talk about that here, obviously. This is just all about CryptoZoo. You should really talk about those DMs. Nope, he never will. You're talking about the group chats and all of the market manipulation stuff that came out from their talks. He will never mention that. He did exactly what people who weren't affected needed to hear to save his image. Jesus Christ, London. Holy shit. Thanks to resub Jaybird, Mediocrity, and the 10K Bits London. What the fuck, man? Thank you. My God. Thank you, London. Jesus. You get in big trouble for revealing the Coder Guy criminal record. Oh, true. Well, I don't know if he could get in big trouble, but that's... Holy fuck. Oh my God, London. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Thank you for the 20K bits. God damn. Going absolutely hog wild. Good lord, man. Hope you had a great day. Thanks, resub clubs. Jesus Christ. No, he hasn't said anything about Dink Doink yet. He's not going to say anything about Dink Doink. He's not going to say anything about all the group chats and everything that came out. He's not going to mention any of that. At least not anytime soon, I don't think. What the fuck is going on? Holy Jesus, London. Where is all this coming from? My word. Jeepers. Holy shit. God damn, London. Thanks for your sub Laggy and Commander. And Taco. Fuck me. God damn. London got his money back from Logan. Yeah, he won all 1.3 mil from the rewards program. Miss Marvel is the best rated superhero show ever on Rotten Tomatoes. Is that right? I haven't seen it. What the fuck? Another 20k bits. God damn, Logan. Jesus, London. Thank you for the generosity. My God. Thanks to resub Toneless. Is Logan trying to do damage control? Well, yeah, that's what this new video is. So he's working on it. Where the fuck is all this coming from? Thank you for the gift sub Dash and the 50 gift subs Blitz. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Fuck me, thank you for that, Blitz. It's the damage control. Yeah, right now it's Mike on his alt accounts. Thank you for the crazy generosity tonight. That's enough to fund one match of Rocket League esports. Thanks to Prime Bob and the resub Lasagna. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Blitz, and thank you, London. Thanks to the resub branch. Have you seen the Iowa husband calling contest? Yeah, I have. I've seen all that. I mean, we can talk about the new Wizards of the Coast drama. Well, it's them literally killing their entire fucking company, really, is what it feels like. They're actually just nosediving everything. We can get into that in just a minute. Holy shit. London, Jesus Christ, man. I hear the fucking wild drops on bits, man. I hope you're having a great night. Thanks to the resub Pants and the Bitsy Eco. Good lord. Oh my lord. How much money is that from all those bits? Each 10k I think is $100. So I mean that's fucking stacks. Jesus Christ. Really appreciate the generosity. Thanks to the resub Seth, Pumpkin in the Prime, Cash, and gift sub Miguel. Well, I wasn't streaming last night because I went to see Plane with Aaron and Andrew. So I didn't get home till late. What the fuck is going on? Did you find some kind of like bit glitch on Twitch or something? Holy shit. Holy shit. Thanks to the resub DJ. The bit Swain and resub Peach. My god, London. 113,000 bits. Won the lottery? Imagine. I do wonder if any lottery winners like use Twitch. Because I remember back in, it's been a long time, but I remember back in early Twitch, there was that one guy who used to donate like 100 grand to World of War, or was it World of Warcraft streamers? No, CSGO. There was this dude that kept donating like 100 grand to World or CSGO streamers. I feel like that guy had to have been like a lottery winner or something. And now maybe London, perhaps, because this is fucking huge. Thank you for that, London. Is the resub cool in the Prime? Okay. You gotta have a game be remade and surpass the original. What would you have remade? City of Heroes. For sure. Thanks to tier 1 macro. Another 3K bits London. My god, what the fuck? You hear about that dude that killed his mom over an Oculus Quest? Yeah, we talked about that. That shit's just sad though. That's not like a really fun thing to go over. That's just shit. That shit's just like actually horrible. Can we get a quick summary of what the Oculus Quest killing? I mean, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like, man. Thanks the Prime Takatsu. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the 80s dark fantasy film videos that are coming up where they reimagine things as an 80s dark fantasy film. Thanks to give Sebastro. Yeah, we can talk about the D&D stuff now. So we already went over the situation, but I'll break it down real quick. Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro, they made an inexplicably awful decision to change their open game license, making it very restrictive to have your own campaigns and do your own stuff with the D&D world. This targets things like Critical Role, stuff like that, where you have these campaigns that go on for a long time, and it becomes a huge piece of content all over the internet. They want royalties on that kind of content. They released a really misguided new set of rules that you have to follow. It's all terrible. I won't get into the nitty-gritty. But in a nutshell, it was basically a community killer. Without exaggeration, their new game licensing, their new OGL, was actually a community-ruining decision that would absolutely just tank all of it, for sure. That's just the reality of it. There was huge pushback on Twitter. A lot of people realized through like an anonymous email from a employee at Wizards of the Coast that they cared deeply about D&D Beyond subscriptions. That's their main metric they use. So it became a big trend on Twitter and Reddit to cancel your D&D Beyond subscription, to really hit Wizards where it hurts the most. After, I think it was 2 days, only 2 days of tons and tons of people canceling their subs, Wizards finally made a statement talking about the OGL and the changes, and it is such a passive-aggressive statement. Does this article have it? Because I'd like to show you the actual statement in its entirety real quick. Thanks, Resub Flash. And the resub machine, him, Ryu, and the Prime Ollie at the Pizza in London. Where? This is the leaked draft. So this is like the new OGL stuff. I'm looking for the official statement. Okay, they don't have it here, it doesn't seem. Maybe it'll come up with this. Oh, here we go. It's on their Twitter. Okay, so here's their new statement. So I won't read all of it to you. Even though it's not that long, I still feel like it'd be just easier to summarize it. Basically, the tone they take is they walk everything back, and they're like, well, the actual reason behind this was Gigabrain. It's some real supervillain anime shit where we were 5 steps ahead. We wanted all of this to leak so we could get your feedback. We wanted to hear from you guys because we take all of your feedback so seriously. We wanted your feedback on potential OGL changes. And in fact, the main reason we were doing it is because we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D and Web3 blockchain games and NFTs by making clear that the OGL is limited to tabletop role-playing content like campaigns, modules, and supplements. So they tried to play like the hero, protect you from hateful and discriminatory products, and ensure that the OGL is for the content creator and homebrewer, the players, and the community. Which makes no fucking sense because the only reason anyone was able to give feedback is because it leaked. It leaked. They didn't officially post it and ask for feedback. The goddamn thing leaked. Also, this doesn't even talk about the royalties. How do royalties protect from Web3 hateful discriminatory products and this kind of shit? That doesn't even address like the main thing about taking royalties, as well as also having the clause in there where not only do you take royalties, you can take their entire property and sell it for yourself as your own thing without even needing their permission. I didn't talk about that in my video, by the way. That's one that I probably should have, but I focused more on the monetary side. One other thing in the proposed new OGL was they have full rights to whatever you'd make. So they could take that and they could sell it as their own. They could monetize it as their own and they wouldn't even need your permission. It was so dumb. It was so fucking dumb. Here's the resub. Asni, Nuclear, and the give sub Nuts, and the Prime Casey. But here, let me get back to the new statement. Where does it go? Yeah, they walked back the royalty, but I want to find... Where is it? They're only half right. We both won. Oh, here we go. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won and so did we. Whoever wrote this needs to be fired. I don't know what team you're using for your press statements, but they are off. What this shows, plain and clear, is what people were worried about from the get-go, especially from the leaks and the employee emails. You treat your fans as competition, as different teams. There's the Wizards of the Coast team, and there's the community, and you guys are at war. So it's about who wins and who loses. Your stance should have been, we're all playing for the same team, so nobody won and nobody lost. We're all in this together. But instead, you went for like, no, you didn't win. You kind of won, but at the end of the day, we win. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. It's literally saying everyone wins. I don't get where it's coming from. No. They won and so did we is literally saying the opposite. It's saying you won, but so did we. There's a separation. There's two teams. Talking about winning and losing. On different sides. I don't know why that's hard to see. The internal memos were talking about how Wizards of the Coast treats the community as obstacles for money. So they look at them in a different way, as like actual competition. So those successful campaigns that are third-party homebrew, they view as actual competition in D&D, which is obviously not healthy since the entire D&D brand is built on the community. So them coming out and saying some shit like this kind of confirms that fear that they literally view those people, those campaigns, that community as competition instead of like customer is the wrong word. Instead of just part of the same ecosystem. It's just a complete lack of respect. It's just, all of it just seems to come out against the community while trying to pretend that it wasn't. Like this shit right here, our plan was always to solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL, and the drafts you've seen were attempting to do just that, except that's a blatant lie. You already contacted Kickstarter about your 20% royalty thing. The only reason you got any input from the community is because all of that leaked. So you had already taken the steps to ensure the OGL could go through without a hitch, without ever getting any input from the community. It's a fucking lie. He's a tier 1 GBA, and the resub Artgrim, David, and Webb. And the bits JD. The arrogance of this company is astounding. Yeah, it is. It is kind of wild. I don't think saves them by any means. Especially when Pathfinder put out such a strong statement that got so much support. So, I don't think they're getting any new D&D Beyond subscriptions. I don't think anyone's going to re-sign up. I really do think this will be pretty much the start of a slow decline of D&D and its brand. It'll transition much more into like Pathfinder and those kinds of other ones. I just don't see anyone going back because it's such a community-driven thing in the first place. You lost the trust of the whole community. Don't know how you make that back. He's a Prime Star. Another great thing about this, and I don't know how many people realize this, all of this broke at the absolute best time for Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons & Dragons because they have that stupid Chris Pine movie coming out soon called Dungeons & Dragons. So, I think this comes out next month. Maybe even less. So all the people that were going to see this probably aren't going to see that anymore. The Last of Us HBO looks incredible. Oh, I thought it was out. Yeah, all the reviews are good for it. Is the Reese of Dark Wolf. No one cares about D&D drama? I don't think you could be more wrong. This has been huge news. D&D is probably one of the most recognizable names in anything gaming related. That's a name that's had fucking 50 years worth of like media hysteria, satanic panic, and still surviving and absolutely blowing up. Literally the biggest stream on Twitch is D&D. It's Critical Role. They are legitimately the biggest Twitch stream in terms of the revenue they bring in. They have their own Amazon Prime show. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's straight up delusion. You don't have to like the game. I'm not saying just because it's super popular it has to be the best game ever, but it is indefensible that it is a huge property still. Jesus. Inarguable that it's a huge property still. The tier 1 Tan and the Prime Prod and Resub Medieval and the Prime Monk. Have you seen the Osu World Cup cheating scandal? No, actually, I didn't see that. It's a Resub T. And the Resub Dragon. You see, someone got world record at AGDQ for Mario Galaxy 2. That's hype. I always love when that shit happens, but no, I didn't see it. There's about every game imaginable is having a scandal. What other games? To this level. I think it's Resub Uzi. And it's not even the game, it's the company. This is a company doing the best it can to sink itself. Which ultimately will probably end up being a good thing for the game as a whole, going to things like Pathfinder. I think it's Resub Maverick. Skull and Bones not having a good time. Yeah, delayed again, I saw. They're also destroying Magic the Gathering. Yeah, but that's Wizards and like Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons Dragons, Magic all goes in the same bucket. Hasbro, it's all the same bucket. Because every bad decision they make with D&D, they make for Magic the Gathering as well. Limited Run Games fired someone for following conservative Twitter accounts and is now refusing refunds. That's kind of wacky. I don't know what Limited Run Games is, but that sounds kind of wacky. I think it's the Prime Fungus. I don't really play Valorant anymore, Pickle, so I don't know. I think it's the Resub Pudgy. Did y'all clear the Heroic Vault? Not yet, we're still on Razageth. I think it's the Resub Valeri. And the Resub Kalubal. And the Resub Carrot. And the Prime Ivana. Do you have any game recommendations? There's not a whole lot of new stuff out right now, so it really depends on what you're looking for. You gonna play a new Fire Emblem? Nope. I don't like Fire Emblem. I've never actually liked the Fire Emblem games. Thanks, the Risa virus. If you were offered to guest voice a character on Velma, would you do it? Oh fuck yeah! What? Absolutely. I'd love to be part of that fucking train wreck. Thanks, the bits of bungie. Would you do your Scooby-Doo impression? No, they'd fire me if I even, like, mentioned Scooby-Doo. I bet they treat Scooby-Doo's name like Voldemort at that office. I have no doubt they have this snobby fucking attitude about it, like, we're more than Scooby-Doo. We wouldn't be reduced to such a low basket like Scooby-Doo. This is all about Velma and our characters, which are much deeper and more complex and realistic than Scooby-Doo. The resub Yibi, Aqua, and Toto. Thanks the Prime to Sony. Thanks to the Tier 1 Danny. I think there's a 0% chance there's a Season 2 of Velma. You're kidding yourself if you think that's coming around. Absolutely no shot. No way. Wouldn't happen. There is absolutely no chance that that show succeeds. What I think is going to happen, though, is they're going to use it as an example for why they will never do animation again. They'll always cite Velma as the reason. We tried animation, but you guys didn't like it. You guys didn't want animation from us, so we don't do it anymore. Look at how Velma performed. You guys clearly don't want cartoons. Thanks, Risa Blitz. People should stop hate watching shows for real. Yeah, you guys should stop hate watching shows. Just let me do it. I'll hate watch for all of us. Stop giving them like this boosted sense of like popularity when everyone fucking hates the show. I'll do it for all of us. Just stop giving them voice crack. Stop giving them those numbers. I promise you, you're not missing anything. It's not so bad it's good. It just fucking sucks. Thanks, Resub Mikhail. The Last of Us is releasing today? Is it? I thought that came out next week. Let me see. Oh yeah, it is. January 15th. It's coming out today. Well, tomorrow, but like 2 hours from now. Here's hoping that's not a pile of shit. Oh, it comes out tomorrow at 9? Oh, okay. Not at midnight? Gotcha. Thanks for the resub, Xavier. Have you seen anything about the new Moon Girl and Devil Dino show? What the fuck are you... What is Moon Girl and Devil Dino? What is that? Moon Girl and Devil Dino. And Devil Dino... Jesus! Devil Dinosaur. It's an upcoming American cartoon series by Marvel. Is there a trailer? Is it? Oh, this is absolutely. This is a children's cartoon. Okay.
Still working on that thing that's gonna fix all our problems. Time to get genius.
I mean, this is something for kids. This is clearly clearly not meant for me to be watching. I don't give a fuck about. That's fine. I'm not gonna be harsh on that or anything. I'm sure it's probably fine. There's no reason to critique that one. That one's actually for like babies. I thought this was supposed to be like a Velma thing. Yeah, no, I'm sure that'll probably be just fine. Devil Dino goes hard in the comics. That's cool. Thanks to Tier 1 Dog and the Reset Blob, Xavier and the Bits of Bungie, and Lewis. They're making more Phineas and Ferb. I heard, actually. Saw it on Twitter. I never watched that show. Never once, actually. So, not like excited or anything, but hope everyone likes it. What is worse, Velma or the Better Call Saul spin-off cartoon? I didn't see Slippin' Jimmy. It looked terrible, but I didn't see it. There's a Tier 1 Nismojo and Tier 1 Decomposition. You see Riot made an apology video about the new cinematic? Wait, they made a whole apology video? I saw their tweet, or rather their statement. Where's their apology video? Is it not on this channel? Where is it? It's on Twitter? Okay. Let me look it up. Is it on their official Twitter, like Riot Games Twitter? No, it's not there. Is it on League of Legends Twitter? Yes, that's where it is.
Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy Lee. I'm also known as Riot Brightmoon. I'm the executive producer for League of Legends.
And
hey,
I'm
nice to meet you.
Also known as Medler. I'm the head of League Studio, so I oversee game development for League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, and Wild Rift.
Hey there.
We're here today to talk a bit about some of the mistakes that we've made. And this isn't just about the season start cinematic, although we'll talk about that a bit. It's just the latest example.
I guess maybe you guys don't know what we're talking about. Riot released this stinker. Riot's known for super high quality animation as well as just like really high quality product in general when it comes to this kind of promotional stuff. And they released this. I won't bother showing you the whole thing, but it's just a voiceover as they go through a completely empty world. They even have audio from like some LCS clips, I think. And they don't show any of it. It's just like random LCS audio.
Every mistake, a lesson.
And that's the whole thing. So super underwhelming. Most people were reasonably questioning why the fuck they even released it. It's super stupid. It's a complete nothingness. So they got some pushback on it, and they have been kicking sand ever since. They already released one statement like apologizing for it. Now they've made a whole apology video all from this one bad cinematic they've had. But it was a super stinker, to be fair.
Game both right now and for a little while hasn't consistently been what it should be. We've heard that from you. We quite agree with it. You know, there've been some good bits in there. I think the durability update last year and Worlds as a whole were both excellent. But there's a lot of other stuff where we have, by contrast, dropped the ball. Whether that's the lack of the season start cinematic, the overall state of our events feeling a bit too formulaic, the lack of new game modes.
This is brutally honest. I don't think I've ever seen a game developer like of this pedigree come out and be like, "Look, guys, our shit sucks. Here's all the reasons here's all the things that you are rightfully upset about. This fucking sucked. This was bad. This is really formulaic, so we understand why most people think it's bad." This is really honest. I've never seen this. 343 did that? When did they do that? 343 was like, yeah, we're just slow. I don't remember them ever saying like, yeah, we really fucking dropped the ball. Like, we suck. I don't remember them doing that. It was a few months ago. They had a whole stream where they said they fucked up. I must have missed that stream. Thanks to Resub Hale.
Or whatever. There's a bunch of places we should be doing better, and doing better in how we communicate that to you.
It's kind of all coming to a head now, because season start is supposed to be this hype, epic, exciting moment that we're all looking forward to. And frankly, we missed on your expectations there. So today we want to share our thoughts on how we got here and what we're going to do next.
League of Legends has historically been a very big priority for Riot, and it very much still is. I can understand that may not always feel the case, though. For us, 2022 was very much a rebuilding year. For various reasons, we had to rebuild a lot of capabilities, rebuild some of the league team, both individual developers and some of its leadership.
I do think a lot of it just kind of boils down to people getting tired of League. I think that actually is probably one of the biggest components. I think just a lot of people in like the US are just kind of burnt out on League at this point. I don't even know. I haven't kept up in a while, so maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like no matter what they do, most people are just kind of moving on from it. According to chat, though, last time I talked about it, it's doing extremely well internationally and is only growing overseas. It's really just kind of domestic that it's fallen off. They just don't do anything at all. There's a prime tier in the resub toasty. The bits frosty. Well, I don't think they're... I feel like the Valorant team isn't taking away from the League team. I think Riot is obviously putting a lot of stake into Valorant because that's the hotness right now. But I don't think by doing that, they're taking resources away from League. But I could very well be wrong about that. I just don't see why they'd be taking League team members and putting them on Valorant. They're two totally separate departments, or they should be, rather. So I don't think it's really Valorant that's eating League.
The good news is that the team's in a much better state now. The bad news is that the state of the game right now reflects where the team was last year, rather than exactly what things are like today.
But, there's also been some things that have happened that aren't related to staffing. And so we want to talk about how we got here,
I've seen that, Yeti.
Where we're going, and I think best to start with the cinematic for season start.
We know the cinematic era is an important key part of season start that a lot of you look forward to. And we fully planned to have a cinematic like we've done in previous years for this year's season start, with the champion-focused, big epic moments, etc. sort of thing. We had the budget for that, we had the right team on that, but we failed to deliver. We're very much going to do one of those for next year's season start. I want to commit to that right now.
I have so many questions on that. So you allocated the budget, you got the team, and then you still delivered this. It's not a failed to deliver. This is like a failed on every front. If you had the budget, you had the team, why did this come out? How did this come into fruition? Something must have fallen through internally. And where did that money go? Because it didn't go to this. That's for damn sure. There's a resub Magica. Budget fell to their pockets. I mean, I guess maybe. That just doesn't really make any sense. I don't understand how this would have happened if they had already allocated the budget and team and everything, and as well as a champion-focused cinematic that they're known for. How the fuck did this end up being the result? Must have been pure chaos. Why are you criticizing a cinematic, man? Low effort criticism. That's the what? This is what they're talking about, you dumb asshole. It's not a cinematic either, by the way. It's a voiceover going through an empty landscape. And this is the first one that's like this in fucking, what, 12 years? Even season, 1 had, an actual cinematic. So when this dropped, it showed a lack of care for the property, which made people doubt that they even put any effort into it anymore. That's what it all stems from. That's why they're making this video. Because people are losing faith in them having any level of passion left for League. That's the whole point. That's what this whole thing is about. Thanks to Prime Nuts, and they give sub Levi and resub Josh and Doodoo.
We also want to commit to doing a much better job of talking with you folks. We knew this was going to be a problem a while back. We should have just been transparent with you all, helped you understand what to expect, rather than ending up with a last-minute surprise here that dashed your expectations.
And it's not like season start is the first event that we've missed the mark on. We have been hearing that events have felt a bit repetitive or lacking some of that twist or special sauce that events used to have.
That events need to have something novel and interesting to actually do, to play, not just a pass to grind or the skins to buy or whatever. And so we think the big missing piece there, in particular based off your feedback, is game modes.
Is it game
League
modes, though?
Used to have a game modes team, and I think a pretty good one. And we ended up using that team as the foundation for the development of Teamfight Tactics and the ongoing development of it. That was great for Teamfight Tactics as an experience, but at a cost to
Game
League.
modes would save it?
And we've been gradually rebuilding that modes team. But to be frank, we haven't prioritized it or moved as fast as we should have. The good news, though, now is that we have a modes team who is staffed up and ready to execute. In fact, just this week, we played a prototype for a new game mode a couple days ago, and it's really promising and something that we're hoping to get out to all of you sometime this summer.
So this is a mode that involves 4 teams of 2 who get matched against each other in a series of deathmatch-like rounds, and buy items and level up and so on between rounds. It's a little janky, it's a little rough as a prototype, but we think it's showing a lot of promise. And our current thinking is we'll share some more details about it, some art, etc., probably in March, and then hope to get it out around the middle of the year so that you folks can play that too. Game modes is one of the places where we'll probably have more changes that we make to the game and ship in the shorter term. In addition to that, though, we're also making a number of longer-term investments in League, kicking off some much larger projects too.
Everyone at Riot, the League of Legends dev team included, of course, wants League to be a thriving, evolving, exciting game for many years to come. And so you might have heard recently that Nicolo, the Riot CEO, talked about how League is going to have the biggest year of funding that it's ever had.
Huge.
And that's because it's true. And that's great. That's great for the game, and that reflects the level of long-term investment that we want to make. And one place that maybe we should start talking about more is the investment that we have in our underlying technology that unlocks a lot of things that we do.
It's super confusing, though, because it feels like this is the lowest budget they've ever had. They just scaled back so much for the LCS in particular. One of Riot's focuses for a long time pre-Valorant was on making League the premier esport, the gold standard. When it came to events, there was really only two that were fucking nuts. It was Worlds, or pretty much any stage for League of Legends esports, and Dota 2. Like, that's really it. But it hasn't felt like that now. It feels like, and they're scaling back, like the LCS in particular, they let go of like Dash and all that. Feels like they have less money to work with than ever. So I just want to know where all of those resources are going. Maybe it's all like internal building of teams and putting people in the right positions, but when the fuck is that going to actually start showcasing like results, I wonder. There's a tier 1 Tidy, the resub Ahmed, and Marie. Counter-Strike events were pretty big. Well, yeah, but I'm talking like that massive world stage shit that they used to be known for. Fucking Imagine Dragons coming out and doing that song, having the fucking AR augmented reality dragons and all of that. Like, they were putting on Super Bowl level shit. This is probably Mountain Dew. World's still massive, got a new format. I know it's still massive. I'm not saying that it's dead or anything. I'm just saying it feels like it's walking backwards, like it's going in reverse. He's the resub artist. Like, they're just running out of budget for it. Which would make sense because now they're making so many other games. They have Project L coming out. They have the Riot Games MMO coming out. And now they also, like, games they already have out that they have a lot of resources for. Teamfight Tactics and Valorant. Like, now they have a lot going on, so the focus isn't all on League. And it feels like they've kind of put League in the back burner. Oh, they also have Arcane, true. This is good. The LCS scaled down. You can buy into the LCS if there's an LCS left. That'd be cool though. Get Moist Esports in the LCS in the like most dead region there is. You do a Cyberpunk replay? When the DLC comes out, I'll play it. These are the bits of Bungie. LCS time slot now Thursday and Friday at 3 p.m. makes no sense for an NA audience. Yeah, it's one of the big criticisms right now of why people are assuming they're just slowly killing off the LCS.
The benefits of some of that stuff, yeah, well, you'll hopefully see in 2023. A lot of it will be multiple-year projects as well, though. You know, this can cover things from how we make art and create or modify maps to how our anti-cheat works, updating that, our engine's capabilities,
our server and hardware capacity that allows us to do things like take over operations in Southeast Asia. There is a ton of work happening that is investment into our long-term growth of the game.
And building on that, there's an overarching theme, I think, here of communication, that we need to consistently do a good job of talking with you folks, transparently and openly about what matters the most to you, what you care about in the game. Updating you when things are going well. And
no
when
one really does that.
Be that.
I think it's silly to expect Riot to. I don't think they will.
Events or game modes or esports updates, whatever it be.
And it's not just the big struggles or big things that we need to communicate on. It's the simple things too. For example, making sure that you all know when ranked is starting, clearly in the client, clearly in advance. So both Andre and I are committing to having more regular communication with all of you. You'll also be hearing more from the dev team on what they're working on and what's exciting and what's in store in the coming weeks and months.
If you've got thoughts on what format you'd like to see that stuff in, is that high production videos every so often? Is that quick videos like this one? Is that blog posts? Is that social media? Please let us know.
Big part of
I don't think you need to
communication,
do a
though,
high
of course,
production for an
is
update
listening.
video.
So
from the
we
dev
want you
team.
to know that we are listening to you. And
Just
we're
convey the
grateful,
information.
honestly, that you're so passionate about League and making sure that we know what you want in terms of making League of Legends the best game it can be.
Very much listening to your feedback. We're working to incorporate that into game. We're going to keep both, sharing, our thoughts with you and hearing yours in return, of course. But at the end of the day, we also know that ultimately it's actions, not words, that matter here.
Thank you for listening to us today.
Thank you all.
Overall, I think that was a pretty good response to the whole situation. About as good as I could have possibly expected, to be honest. They didn't really give the specifics on how the fuck this animation ended up, like I said here, but other than that, about as good as I was going to get.
Hey, everyone.
I guess we'll see. It still does really feel like League's kind of on its way out in the US. I don't know how they salvage that. I don't know how you bring it back. People said game modes actually would save it, but I don't know. If they, let's say they do Dominion 2.0, bring out a new Dominion. Who's coming back? Like, game modes are keep players that are already playing, I'm sure. Give them something else to do, but I just don't see it bringing in new people. Doombots were cool, yeah. But I wouldn't play League for Doombots. Doombots was just always something to do after I got fucking tired of playing ranked. What would I bring back? Well, I just don't think I am personally of the belief that game modes wouldn't save it or like help it have this renaissance of players. Like, it'd give people that are already burnt out on the game but addicted something else to do, yeah, but again, I don't see people coming to play those game modes.